A show for the fans, by the fans. Talking all things Cleveland Browns. From our mic to your ears. With your hosts, Jason Hand, Mikey P, and Ian Cold Train Coldiron.
Are you ready for some football?
We're ready for some football, baby.
Yes, and you are now in the yard. Welcome to the Yard Dawgs Podcast, a show for the fans, by the fans. This is season 4. I believe we're at episode 142 tonight. I am your host, Mikey P. The Yard Dawgs Podcast is brought to you by Network 216. Just make sure you do check out our Ohio sports content. Subscribe to our Network 216 YouTube channel. And joining me tonight is the one, the only, my co-host, Cold Train. How we doing?
Cold Train and Quinn.
Uh-oh.
There's
There's literally a dog in the yard tonight.
Yeah, there's a dog in the yard tonight. She just came up. They're kind of chilling with me, but the Train and Quinny girl.
Well, welcome to the yard, Quinny girl. I don't know if your dogs are like mine. We just got back from our little getaway. We do a little Christmas getaway every year, the weekend before Christmas. And when we got back, our dogs have been following us around, making sure we're not planning to leave again.
Oh, really?
It's like they're watching us. They're like, don't leave, ever.
Right. All right, come on up. See, this is what happens. You give one love. Come on. You give one love, and then the other comes over. Mr. Frank. That's the second Frenchie right here. I've always wanted to introduce these pups to the yard. Here they are.
Frank and Quinn?
Yeah, Frank and Quinn.
Frank as in Frank from Men in Black?
Actually, Frank the Tank, Will Ferrell.
Okay.
Old school. That was that's what I was thinking of immediately. But, yeah, and then I named Frank, Mr. Frank, and then obviously my wife named Quinn, that Frenchie. But, yeah, we love him, man. That's amazing. I mean, it makes sense. I feel like a majority of Browns fans are probably dog people. I mean, I don't want to, push that, but it seems like they are. I mean, I do see a lot of dog pics, like through Browns Twitter. So I feel like that. Hey, and if you're watching the show right now, pop on a comment of your dog or something to say, hey, what's this, Spunky says what's up, we like interaction. So definitely, if you got a dog in your dog pound, let us know about it.
Yeah, if you're out there, we love all the comments. We love comments flowing in. And are your dogs a member of that? I know that I saw this at training camp this year. Was it the Barking Browns backers?
I didn't know about this.
Yeah. I'm going to have to send you the link. You could sign your dog up, and they send, like, treats and stuff for their birthdays. And
really?
And they have, like, events. Like, for you, it'd make more sense because they have events going on around there. You're at least within driving distance of Cleveland, or with a day drive.
Yeah. It's a journey. I mean, like I said, us Columbus people, when we go, at least, I can speak for us, that those drives to Cleveland, it's a day. I always say this on the show. It's a day dedication. It is a legit day commitment, bro.
A show, but at least you got to drive home after a W again this week. I'm sure if they would have caught that Hail Mary somehow, that drive home would have sucked because losing. I can attest to it. I talked to my father-in-law who was driving back from the ODU Bowl game, where they blew a 28-0 lead yesterday in the second half, and he said that drive home was extra long after losing that game. So
I'm sure, dude. I mean, honestly, dude, if you want me to be dead honest with, about my buddy, that I went with, I wanted to leave 2 different times during the game, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not gonna lie to you guys in the show. And that's what I realized actually yesterday, live and in person, as the season's gone on, Mikey. I got PTSD from the losing seasons, man. I got PTSD for real. I watched that game like kind of like you did a few weeks ago. You know, like I was like, they're done. They're done. Because like I explained to my
Lower
buddy,
than a night.
like I told my buddy, 10 points to a Browns fan is 21. At least to me. I don't know about you, Mikey, but like the way things have gone, especially the injuries, everything, like that 10 points just seems like a very large number. So like
the way they were playing, like they weren't really able to move the ball.
No.
It was like every 5 seconds you were like, this person's on the sidelines being evaluated for an injury, and you're just like, oh my God, well, you just make it happen. And I know you were there live. Obviously, you know, I was out of town, so I didn't get to watch it in my normal spot. I was actually watching it on my phone.
Wow.
Live stream. And so I found out that I was actually a little behind on the live stream. So like all of a sudden the Bears, I get an update that the Bears just ran back an interception. And I'm like, what the hell? That hasn't happened. What did I miss? And then all of a sudden it happened. And I'm like, I'm like 20, 25, 30 seconds behind. But yeah, we're going to get into that game here shortly. But before we get into that game, I kind of mentioned, you know, where I was out of town, favorite family Christmas tradition, and your favorite Christmas dinner food. What is your favorite family Christmas tradition, Coltrane? And audience, you know, if you're in the comment section, we'd like to hear you guys post those out there too. And what's your favorite Christmas dinner food?
Some good ones tonight, man. My Christmas tradition is just very simple. It was passed on, you know, kind of with when I was a kid, you know, and I just always believed in it. But I don't know if many people do this at home, but I'm always a huge one gift on Christmas Eve.
Okay.
That's just kind of what, you know, it's like I said, as a kid, and then of course, sometimes some Christmases your mom would give you 2 or 3, you know, it's like, we're breaking the rules. But for the most part, every year it's, you know, one gift. And I've now, you know, obviously now my mom and dad are, you know, I'm not living with my parents anymore. So with me and my wife and Kaya now, my 2-year-old, we'll be sharing that same tradition. This is actually Kaya's second Christmas, so we're excited for her. So we're going to continue that tradition of one present each, and it's just kind of exciting, man. Then we'll obviously, you know, stick around here for Christmas. But yeah, that would be my tradition. I would say for dinner, I got to have a ham. I'm a ham guy. I would love not necessarily honey baked ham. Believe it or not, my aunt's ham she gets from IKEA, or not IKEA. It's Aldi.
I was like, IKEA. You can get meatballs there.
No. This ham she gets from Aldi is better. Believe it or not, it's actually better, the one she brings from Aldi, than when the expensive honey baked ham company. So I don't know if any of you are listening out there, but Aldi has good ass ham. Excuse my French, but it's got some real good ham for Christmas, especially. It's coming up right around the corner. Spiral spice, you know, brown sugar glaze, whatever. But I'm a ham guy. That would be, I would say, you know, something that I need at the Christmas table when we're eating with family. What about you, Mikey?
I mean, for me, my favorite Christmas tradition is kind of every year we take a trip as a family and we stay at the same timeshare place. It's called the Powhatan Historic Resort. Little 2-bedroom condo. It's a nice little setup for us, and I go with my wife and my 2 daughters, and we just go and we tour around Williamsburg, Virginia. We go to like Colonial Williamsburg and Jamestown, and we go to the shops and stuff and walk around. And we always do. They have a theme park there, you know, like Cedar Point. It's called Busch Gardens, and they do it up for the holidays. So like during Halloween, they call it Hollow Scream, and during Christmas, they call it Christmas Town. So we always go to Christmas Town every year, and the kids have a blast. And and so that's probably my favorite Christmas tradition now. My favorite Christmas dinner food. Because we have different stuff every year. I don't know that I have a favorite Christmas dinner food. We tend to do a lot of stuff like with family and going to different people's houses. So it seems that maybe mac and cheese is my favorite Christmas dinner food, because that always seems to be on the buffet when I go. So, although personally, I would love if I had lasagna every year for Christmas. So, but
Really?
yeah, I love lasagna, man. I just don't get it enough. And as a kid, we used to eat it all the time for Christmas, but since I've been an adult, I haven't had lasagna in a long time on Christmas.
That's why I need to make a lasagna. Actually, that sounds really good. But
It's so time consuming. That's the worst part. It just takes so long to make it. It's the process of making it is what is consuming. So those are mine.
It's interesting you said you do different food every year. Like my spread's been pretty much the same with my family for forever. So is that like a tradition that you guys do that, or
like we
is it just like a regular day, or
like we usually what we do is on Christmas Day we don't go anywhere. We usually hang out like just at the house, and my wife will cook something up, and we've had spaghetti before on Christmas. Italian feast. It's really Christmas Eve is where we do our biggest eating. And that's like going over different people's houses, like my aunts or grandparents or my in-laws. And it's more buffet style where everybody's bringing an item. And then you end up with like, everyone brings an item to feed like 20, 30 people. And then you end up you could feed a small army after that. It's like, you're really feeding 1,000 people. And then you end up with all this leftover, but yeah, that's kind of been a thing. We're not the traditionalists for food like on Thanksgiving. So yeah, that's what I said. Mac and cheese is probably the core thing.
Can't go wrong with some mac and cheese. Looks like Brian's over here. My favorite tradition is watching Home Alone and Christmas Story.
Those are good.
Favorite foods are ham, deviled eggs, stuffed peppers, and Xmas cookies. Good lineup there, Brian. Thanks for the feedback. Oh, and Merry Xmas to you as well, Jeff. I did see your comment scroll through when I was on a little tangent. And MC Lawrence, nice to see you around as well.
And there's Jeff. His
biscuits and gravy. Really? That's an interesting combo there. I do like that though.
Yeah, I think this year for Christmas we're going out. Like I think we're going out with my in-laws, and they want to go to like Japanese steakhouse for dinner. So
really, for Christmas Day?
Yeah, like I'm like, yeah, cool, let's do it.
Are they open? They're open. The place?
They're open that day. Yeah.
Wow.
They don't open until like later in the day, but they're going to be open.
All right, maybe I'll think about doing something like that with my wife. Japanese steakhouse. Here we go.
It's not a bad deal. So we were talking a little bit earlier before I went into the Christmas traditions and the Christmas foods and culture. And obviously you were there at the game. I was watching the game on my iPhone 12. So we probably had different experiences. As you mentioned before, you said you tried to leave twice during that game. Which Buddy talked you out of it. And you missed a hell of a comeback. Like you missed a hell of a fourth quarter. What was the stadium vibe like? Because I heard the announcers on TV were saying like the stadium was almost like being at a funeral for a little while, and then all of a sudden it was like being at a rave.
Yeah, I mean, I would say first of all, I was surprised at the fan base of Chicago. We knew Jacksonville's fan base was non-existent. I mean, it really is. Like, dude, there was I told you, there's probably 11 total Jags fans at the game, man. And Bears fans, I was just shocked. I mean, they're a 5-8 football team. You had dudes in solid bear costumes and tops and bottoms, and wearing like just furry stuff and bear heads, and I don't know. There was I'd probably guess, especially on that away side, there was probably at least 500 to 1,000, which is a lot for Bears fans. I mean, there was almost Bears fans trickle in every section, which wasn't really great, but anyways, it was it was rough at first, man. I mean, I can't lie to you. Like I've been saying it on the show. Like I've been really like taking it hard, man. Like I told you guys, like on the show before, like it's hard. It's getting harder and harder for me to like eat food because it's like I'm really upset. Like being there is worse than watching it at home. At least at watching at home, like I can eat some wings or whatever. But like I think just because like so much stake is on the line every game. That's how I feel. But the vibe of the stadium to me felt the same way. Like we weren't really arrogant walking in. Like nobody was really like talking trash. Like I don't think anyone really knew what to expect. You know, like we obviously had a lot of injuries. We were talking about on Browns Twitter almost all week. You know, I was 50-50 on the game, man, you know, but like you said, rough first half. Defense kept us in it though, man. Defense plays well at home. I mean, they really put on a show for us. And then I would say what you're talking about, I don't know the exact moment you're talking about when it turned into a rave. As soon as Cooper scored, that was when all of a sudden you could just see because I mean, even I sat down at a lot of points of that game, bro. I don't sit. Usually I stand the whole time. There were some times that I did sit down. But you saw as soon as Cooper scored, you saw like the whole crowd, all of a sudden the whole bowl was like, you know, barking and loud. And when Hopkins, you know, tied it up, sealed the deal. And then that next drive, you know, everybody was like, flat, go, flat. I mean, it's like a scene from a movie sometimes, this place, man. Like it's been such a we're 7-1 at home. It's been such a magical year. If any of you have had the pleasure of going in person this year, I mean, even I think it was Jason that sent a text before to me like, oh, you're going, you know, must be having a blast at the game. Like I told you, there's 2 games I went to this season that are like top 5 worthy for me as a fan for, you know, 36 years old in my life, you know? So it just, the place erupted. I have a clip I posted on Twitter, you know, got a lot of, I think I was up to 1,000. It was getting a lot of feed, but I was able to capture that last moment of that, you know, you know, that last fumble of the ball there by the Chicago Bears guy. I mean, it just sucked. It never should have even gotten out of his hands. I don't know. I mean, I know they were only rushing 3, but man, they had that planned all. I mean, it was, I gotta say, it was a very well ran Hail Mary. Like I've seen, you know, obviously many highlights is that was a well executed Hail Mary, dude. Like that guy was supposed to catch that ball.
And they even who was it? It was DeAnthony Bell talked about it. They had watched it on film early in the week when they practiced for the Hail Mary. And a lot of teams are starting to do that now where they're not putting all their guys in the end zone. They're leaving maybe 1 or 2 guys at the front of the end zone or even just outside the end zone to try to catch those ricochets. Because what have we said all of these years when you're winning a Hail Mary? Knock it down, right? Knock it down.
Right.
I mean, even do you remember a couple weeks ago when that Eagles defensive lineman knew they were going to spike the ball and he literally dove and tried to, like he almost got his hands up underneath it and was able to bat it up just at the ground. They're starting to pick up on stuff like that. So I wonder if you're going to see more teams, you know, strategically trying to do. I mean, it's probably your better option. I mean, than trying to just moss somebody, sit there. Because I've seen college games and I've seen pro games where it gets batted to the front, and then the guy all of a sudden catches it and goes in the end zone and scores. So. That almost happened to us, but it didn't, thank God.
As a Browns fan, too, you say to yourself 9 out of 10 times that goes, our souls are ripped out and we're walking out that literally, and we look like our souls had literally been ripped out. But I'll end with
the ghost of Jim Brown.
Frank, come over here. He's getting rowdy, dude. I'm talking about the game. He's getting excited for it. He keeps talking about the Houston game, dude. I tell you, these pups in this house, man, they get fired up for these games. But anyways, I wanted to end with this. I said it last week on the show. I actually approached the guy on my way out. I probably just freaked him out, to be honest. He's probably like, what is this guy, a weirdo? But I walked up to him and I said, dude, it's nice to see your smiling face. Like, so many times I've walked out that stadium and everyone's kicking the dirt, you know, they're pounding beers, they're pissed off. I mean, everyone's seen that notorious video, that one dude, I'm so sick of losing. So many years of that, dude. And I'm looking around, you know, my surroundings as I'm walking out, and I'm watching these dads like they got smiles on their faces. Some of them got daughters in their hands, sons, whatever, and everyone's just happy. It's nice to see the city like really happy, man. Like I've been enjoying the ride. I've talked about it in the show. I know you have, Mikey. It's just been, again, 7-1 at home. As a season ticket member, I have nothing to complain about this year. What a glorious gift. 7-1 where you almost go there assuming they're going to win. You get to that point, almost. But anyways, just good experience overall. Like I said, that last ending of it, of course, the last second, but yeah, man, it was a slow bloomer. But so, it's back to you. What was your experiences like, and where were you when the first half was shitty? Were you getting, like, I know you get negative sometimes too. Were you getting negative?
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought we had chances early on, and then I almost gave up on the game when they had that muff punt. We're down. It's 17-7, and you have the muff punt, and it's a perfect opportunity. And we get the ball at the 20-yard line. And the first play, we throw an interception, and the Bears get it and move the ball back. And I'm just like, oh, my God, are you kidding me? Like, worst case scenario, we're coming out of that at least down 7 instead of down 10. And when that happened, I kind of thought it was over. But then, we moved the ball, stopped them, got a field goal, and we're moving the ball a little bit. And then Amari Cooper just makes a play. Joe Flacco with a hell of a throw, and then all of a sudden he just breaks down the sideline, and it's a tie ball game. And then the Bears got the ball back and went 3 and out. They went 3 and out quick. It was like that Pittsburgh game. They just got the ball and went 3 and out quick. And then when we got the ball back with time left, I'm still worried though. Even after we made the field goal, I'm like, man, there's 35 seconds left. Like, it's just sometimes it feels like an eternity. And then that weird play, like they hit Scott going down the sideline and he just kept tiptoeing. When Denzel Ward kind of did an ole instead of hitting him with his shoulder to knock him out, like to try to tackle him, he missed him. And then all of a sudden he got an extra, 10, 15, almost 20 yards out of it. And I'm like, oh my God, they're almost in field goal range. But the defense made the plays when they needed to at the end. They came up big once again, got pressure. Myles Garrett was probably held about 20 times throughout the game. There's a mixtape out there on referees not calling holding on Myles after that game. But you can't complain because you're never going to get the call. If you keep complaining, you're not going to get the calls. Like that, it feels like that's how the refs kind of are. Like, they don't like their names coming out. Like, I don't know. Did you watch a lot of other games other than Browns games this weekend? Did you notice how many offensive offside penalties were called this week?
Yeah, I've never been a fan. I've never been a fan of like how Miles kind of took that approach. Like, I've never been a fan of like ripping the refs just because like kind of what I feel like they did in this game. Like, they just kind of proved a point to them. Like, all right, dude, like there's proper ways of doing this. But from what I understand, they were doing that like many weeks in a row. And again, I get the frustration, but unfortunately, dude, I know Cleveland's crying for him. I don't think we're going to see many holding calls for Miles, dude, anytime soon. I just don't. I don't think that. What about you?
I don't know. I always have a problem with how games are officiated overall. Like, I hate when they call something that has no impact on the play. And I have no problem with if it's a little bit of holding, because I think there's a little bit of holding at play a lot in many games that doesn't get called. I don't like it when it's directly impacting a play. Like, if it's blatant and the quarterback was going to get drilled and they just didn't call it. Like, when you're beat and you're from behind, you have to call those. Like, those are like the holding penalties that got to be called. Like, we got called for a holding penalty that took a big play off the board.
Yeah.
For us. And I was like, where was the hold? Where was it?
Right.
And I get that the rule is, can't got to be inside, can't be outside. But I'm like, if you're not dragging the guy down, I mean, I don't like when they call it, and I hate when they won't call it. Like, especially you see guys beat the offensive lineman is literally standing behind the defensive end or defensive tackle, and they literally like either jump on their back or they grab them from behind. I'm like, you have to call those.
Yeah.
But I just think overall the NFL officiating is some of the worst I've ever seen. Like it's worse at the collegiate level. It's bad at the high school level, but I think it's worse at the pro level. I just think I don't know why. These guys should be the best of the best, but I think they almost over officiate sometimes. Like they call stuff that has no impact on the game versus calling stuff that does.
Yeah, it's because some of them let them play, where they always say that, and then some of them are like real nitpicky. But it's like just be like a mix. Like my thing is like just call them on both sides though. Like sometimes, like you just said, it does feel like a little one sided. Where you feel like, and it's always that Browns luck. Like I talked about this, with the guys in that stadium, last Sunday. Sometimes that luck aspect, like it didn't look like it was going our way the whole game, but obviously, it came out after. But refs have a lot to do with that luck as well. You know what I mean? Because I mean, I'll tell you where refs came in, bro, where they single-handedly helped us. Most of PJ Walker's drives, if you remember, dude, like it'd be like third and 18, not a shot in hell. PJ throws a freaking duck. And, the ref's like, oh, either like defensive offsides or like pass interference or like Amari runs a crisp route. He's getting held. We get lucky. And then it's like, first down. But yeah, that's kind of how our season's been going. But yeah, with the Miles, unfortunately, like I said, just, Miles, it's done. They heard you. They know. Obviously, Goodell now sees this stuff, the Twitter stuff, whatever. I would hope he does. I mean, doesn't live under a rock. And hopefully they deal with it, man. Like, I'm just asking for like one a game. Like, like I don't even think us Browns fans are asking for much. Just give me one a game, like one, not even one per half, but just like one per game where I know you're like looking at it, because that's the problem right now with where it's at, Mikey, is all we need is that one, and the coaches will stop telling these guys to do it. Right now in that, tape meeting or film meeting, they're like, dude, just hold them. Who gives a shit? They're not calling it.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you? As an opposing team, you saw the Denver Bronco with the chokehold, the Macho Man Randy Savage. I mean, my dude, at this point, it's like it's taught, it's coached, it's told them it's okay, and basically do it until you get caught. I mean, that's how I feel that it's been with that. So, but I hope it improves, especially down the stretch here, man. We could use any help that we can get right now with like injuries and all that stuff. So I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a defensive coordinator before. It was God, I'm trying to remember who it was, but I know for a fact that like if you watch some teams play in the secondary, like they just say hold the receiver. If you just hold the receiver every play, they're not going to call. They're legitimately not going to call it every play. They can't. Yeah. So if you just do it every time, they're only going to call the really egregious ones. So I feel like that's where the NFL is going. It's like they're just like, you know what? Just hold them every time, because they're only going to call it if it's really egregious.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the Browns still won the game. They found a way to win, and that's different about this Browns team that I keep saying. Like, this team finds ways to win where the opportunities aren't there. And I think that's when people talk about, changing the culture, that's changing the culture. I think us as fans, we experienced so many bad Browns losses over the years that it's going to take a while for our mindsets probably to change. And that's what I say. Like me and you were talking about how Steelers fans, at the end of the day, like no matter how bad they are, they still believe they're a Super Bowl contender. They still believe somehow they're going to go on this miraculous run and win their last 3 games. And, Mason Rudolph is going to lead them to the Super Bowl like Big Ben did the one year where they were like the 6th seed and got hot at the end. And that's what they believe because they've seen something like that happen before. As Browns fans, I don't think we've seen that yet. So we still have a little bit of that PTSD, like you were talking about, where you're like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Did you get to see the meme that someone made of the, or not a meme, it was like a picture of the Hail Mary shot, and it showed the ghost of Jim Brown?
Of course. Yeah.
Swatting the ball with his cane. I thought that was
yeah, that was pretty funny, dude. I saw that one. That was pretty good.
I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
What did let's see, MC Lawrence said didn't call any holding this week just to spite Miles. He didn't call.
Yeah, I agree.
Didn't call one holding penalty.
Yeah, like I said, I hope it improves, man. I mean, like I said, just one a game, dude, would be nice. I mean, free 10 yards is free 10 yards.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got the Texans this week. But before we get into that, who was your dog of the week last week on offense and defense?
Offense, gotta say Elite Joe. He's had a shitty game, dude. Dirt ball game, trash can. Looked horrible. I saw the tweets already coming out. I mean, you Browns fans, let's just watch the game first. Like that, I'm upset I can't eat a hot dog, but at least I can watch the game without tweeting. But two quarters in, 3 quarters in, missed you franchise, one of these accounts, missed you talking about Watson. Like, I miss Watson too, man. But, dude, he's having a bad game. So did PJ Walker. So did DTR. Like, this is our 4th QB, dude. I'm not I don't go into Flacco games just expecting Super Bowl capabilities right off the rip. Just like with Watson, like every time he plays, I don't have 240 million, whatever it was, on my mind. Like, I just watch him play and I know he's going to be who he is. Like, it is what it is. But with these QBs, I would say Elite Joe for sure with that 4th quarter. Just that Amari Cooper, if you don't put that ball in the exact spot it needed to be, it's pick times 2. There was 3 guys in the vicinity. It's either talk about putting all the chips in the basket. He don't give it. That's what I like about Joe. He don't give a shit, dude. He assumes you're there. He assumes you're running that route. He throws that bitch, and he's like, money. Even that last interception from Tillman, I don't think that was on Flacco. It looked like Tillman ran the wrong route because he came over to the receivers coach and looked pretty damn confused. So the thing about Flacco, he assumes you're there. You know what I mean? Like he trusts his receivers. Very different QB than Watson, anybody. Like he assumes you're going to be there. And that was that Cooper play. Right spot, right time, bam, scores, does it. If it wasn't that, it was what you were talking about too with Njoku. Just getting the ball to Njoku in general, where Watson kind of struggled with that, or maybe just Watson didn't like him as a target. I'm not sure, but didn't seem like they had as good of a rapport as, Flacco and him. And then on defense, let's see, for my dog, I would say Greg Newsome, man. He's hit or miss. He's kind of like Emerson. Like sometimes they have a really, really good game, and then sometimes they have kind of a middish game, and you're just a little bit shocked, or they get beat, and you're just like, wow, like they got beat. And you got to, understand that they're not superhuman, like they're not, Superman. But I would say definitely Newsome, just for all the, like just tip balls that I saw, and man, he could have had a pick. At one point he could have had an interception right in his hands. But he just had a ball out game, dude. Like anybody that was targeted near him, didn't do crap. I just love to see that. I'll finish with saying this. I love our cornerback room, dude. I love Denzel. I love Newsome. I love Emerson. Like I just love the 3 corners, dude. It just makes me giddy just because like that's the first thing I feel like Barry like focused on fixing. Like he believes that you have to have like good corners. So that's what I'll say my dog of the week's. What about you, bud?
For me on offense, I'm going to give it to Njoku. I think he had a huge game. He made some key plays. I mean, he made that catch. I mean, Flacco made a hell of a throw on a tough play. Like he was basically fading off his back foot and had to put some little bit of arc on it. And Njoku made a hell of a catch, made a hell of a run. That catch in the end zone that Njoku made. So I give my dog of the week on offense to Njoku. On defense, I will give my dog of the week to JOK, man. Like, he was all over the place again on Sunday. Intercepted in one of the Hail Marys at the end of the half. JOK was all over the field. So I definitely give it to him. And kind of talk about our cornerbacks. Like, those guys play with a lot of swagger, especially Greg Newsome. Like, he's after every time he makes a play, he's doing a little dance or shimmy or whatever he does. Kind of gets the crowd fired up. I saw people on Twitter get irritated with it after a while, but I'm like, let the guys have fun a little bit. So that would be my offensive and defensive dogs of the week. And we got the Texans this week. We're not at home. Going on the road to Houston. It's going to be Christmas Eve.
2-4 on the road, correct?
Yeah, we're 2-4 on the road. You got to win on the road. We don't know yet if CJ is going to play. I think he will. I mean, I haven't seen too many guys spend multiple weeks for concussion protocol. Usually it's 1 week and they're back. And I think the guy that missed the most time with a concussion recently, quarterback-wise, was Tua. But I don't know if it's the severity of what CJ's concussion was. So if CJ's not able to play, we'll be playing Case Keenum, who's solid, doesn't turn the ball over a lot. What do you think we need to do on offense to beat the Texans? Like, are we going to be able to throw it around the yard like we've been? Or are we going to need to unlock the running game this week?
Establish run game, bro. Establish run game. The last 2 weeks now, it's been nothing. Establish run game. I know it's tough, guys. I know it's hard. You got 4 backups in. At one point, we had Wyatt Teller was the only starting lineman in. But, guys, we got to be able to run the ball. It's our thing. And I think, like, those first couple, when we got hot that first, the game before this, where Flacco was like two for 2 tutties, in the red zone, that run game opens up everything. That RPO option, it opens everything. And the most, I think, frustrating thing for me, to watch lately has just been, when we run, like you just said it, we either have a 20-yard break off and a holding call, or they know it's coming, they know who it's going to, and they're 2 yards ahead of you right when you snap it.
Mm-hmm.
So with that said, yeah, man, we have to. These running backs got to start balling, dude. I know it's very few, but I don't want to keep seeing Joe throw 45 times, dude. I just am worried it's going to catch up to us, and he doesn't need to be throwing that many times, man. I mean, and that's something that people need to understand. They were ripping, these fair weathers that were ripping Joe on Twitter. When you throw the ball that many times, you're going to throw picks. This is the NFL. I'm not saying that I'm not making an excuse for 3 interceptions in a game, but you're going to throw picks, dude. He's just, like I said, he lights it up. That's Flacco. And if anyone that knows and watched him at Baltimore, he was the same way. He's a gunslinger, dude. He likes to rip it and roar it. And if it's either picked or it's, a money ball going in the end zone. I mean, how about that one throw to Marquise Goodwin, dude? Finally, he's
the dime.
Involved, huh? Finally, he's involved. So I'd like to see, I guess, I'll finish with that. I'd like to see more involvement with Marquise, Cedric, the rookie. Just do some different stuff, guys. Stefanski, don't stop being you. Keep mixing this crap up and hopefully throw off the Texans D. What are they ranked, by the way? Off question, but are they good? I mean, obviously they got a lot of wins or a good amount of wins, but are they good on D? I would assume they're D'Amico Ryans.
They're solid. They're not anything flashy. They don't make a ton of mistakes on defense. I'm gonna see on the year. Let's look at their rankings. And I'm not so much big on yardage as I am. I like third down conversions. What do you give up there? Like their defense is kind of middle of the pack. They're ranked 20th overall. They give up about 343 yards a game.
How many?
They give up about 343 total yards a game. Against that's their total D. They're about 20th. So they're 16th now. They moved up to 16th after last week. Their passing defense, a little weak. They're ranked 25th. They give up almost 240 yards a game passing.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Rushing defense, they're 6th. So they give up less than 100 yards a game on the ground.
Why do we keep playing these rushing teams, dude? God,
man. We've played. This is another top 10 rushing defense.
Yeah, we 3 in a row.
We played the Bears, who were number 1. And a lot of people need to understand about that Bears team. Like, their defense has been good all season. It's been their offense that's struggled, but they have a good defense.
Yeah.
Like, they get their offense rolling, they're going to be a dangerous team in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, another run stopping team that is not as good against the pass. Giving up points per game, the Texans they give up about 21 points a game. And we give up about 20 points a game on average. So we're like number 12 points per game.
What sucks about that is a lot of those are like offense put us on the 10-yard line. Even when Watson was playing, like offense put us on the 10-yard line. We're giving up TDs. You know?
It's weird. We've given up the most touchdowns after turnovers this year. And it's because our turnovers it seems like every time we turn the ball over, it's like a short field. It's uncanny. Like, we don't turn the ball over going the other way or anything like that. Like, it's like short field turnovers. So the way they've been winning games, and with that, the biggest key is this is a key stat I always talk about. It's third down defense. The Browns are number 1 in the league in third down efficiency. Teams are only converting 20% of their third downs. The next second best team is 33%, Denver. So that's a pretty good gap, and percentage-wise. The Eagles, who have given up or been getting criticized a lot lately on defense, they're giving up 48% on third down.
Wow.
Almost half of their conversion. You could convert on them on third down.
That's why all their games are like shootouts almost.
Yeah.
D.
That's why I say
dude.
I like points per game, and points is weird too because certain games get away from you and you might give up more points. But that third down defense percentage always is a telling sign, like, because that means you're getting teams off the field.
Yeah, 100%. Dude, I watched it live in person. They gave, and that's why I even told my buddy, if we lost that game, I couldn't be mad at the D. They gave Flacco like 10 different drives, like total, dude, of stoppages and just punts, whatever. Like, here's the ball, and he, it just, like I said, it was like, what happened? It was like that meme where it was like, do something, buddy, with the stick.
Do something. Think about it. Think about it. You had a key 4th and 1 play that Cam Mitchell just gets enough of to trip him up. Or if not, that's probably ball game right there. Like, we may not win the game if he doesn't make that play.
Yeah, I think that's what's been cool for me too, to see, players you're mentioning. Barry's roster, there's good depth, man. He did make sure there was maybe DePodesta had something to do with it too. Like, there's some good money ball depth from some of these guys, bro, that are behind me. Even like Ronnie Hickman impressed me yesterday or Sunday. Who was the other safety? What's his name? I'm drawing a. Who was the other safety next to Hickman? He did a great job.
DeAnthony Bell.
Yeah, DeAnthony Bell. He balled out for sure, dude. It wasn't just that pick at the end, like, that saved the game, but he was all over the field too. I just love how Schwartz unlocks all of the potential of these players, dude. It just, I know people like talk about coaching. I don't think we've ever really had Cleveland coaches like this where we could talk about them besides like the Belichick days. Like, dude, when you have a coach, man, it changes everything. Like, I'm loving seeing these guys where, like, you're like, oh, it's next man up, but you don't really believe that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? That's just a facade to convince yourself, bro. Like, we're good. You know what I mean?
This team is there's just something different about this team. And you see it in the pregame or the postgame speeches where Stefanski's giving these game balls and stuff. Everybody's listening.
Dude.
Everyone is like dialed in.
But too, he's showing emotion, bro, with these guys.
Yeah.
Like, it really is. I don't know what happened at that. I think that was the best thing they did, and I hope they do it every year because the players always mention it. Was it West Virginia? Where'd they go on that first?
They went to West Virginia.
West Virginia.
The golf course.
The Greenbrier.
Yeah, the Greenbrier, the golf course. Mm-hmm.
They literally still talk about that, dude. So, like, I really hope I would assume so. Like, bring that back because whatever they did over there, bro. And like I said, players still mention in interviews, like now, like, almost a year later, like, oh yeah, like, this is a brotherhood. Like, dude, it damn sure feels like I don't know what I tell my wife all the time. I don't know what Stefanski's putting in the punch. I don't know what it's a mixture of Stefanski's putting in the punch and Barry's roster. But man, I'm not one of these like huge re-sign guys. But to me, bro, it's not even a question, dude. Like I've seen enough from Stefanski and Barry to know, like, what was it? Was it Schottenheimer days? Was the last time where we would have 2 winning seasons, dude?
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking the 80s, bro, the late 80s, and it's 2023. Like, easy decision for me. I'll throw it back to you. What are your thoughts on Barry and Stefanski at this point of the season, sir?
I think Barry. I still think needs to. I would like to see him do what he did for the defense this year on the offensive side of the ball. I'd like to see them get the receiver room a little better. I don't know that we know what we really have with Tillman. Tillman still has some room to grow. I definitely think we do need another guy that stretches the field brought in here next season. So I'd like to see that. Something happened over the offseason. Like, I don't know what it is with Stefanski, but there's just a different vibe with this team. I don't know if he like decided to, sometimes like you have a boss or something, like they have like a barriers up and they don't want to give you much.
Yeah, of course. I do that every day, even at my job.
I don't know. Maybe Stefanski took his wall down a little bit and connected with these guys, and that's why this team is so tight and close. Like, maybe he did something different. Because that happened with Tom Coughlin. Like, not comparing Stefanski to Tom Coughlin, but Tom Coughlin did that when he was with the Giants, and they said the players just loved it.
Yeah, I mean, look at that clip where Stefanski's over there by Miles. This the last game, and he was like, "I need you to end this." It's almost like a dad talking to his son. And then Miles immediately was like, I got this. I'm going to end this game. And he did. I mean, dude, he's got these guys playing on another level. Like, they really, that's the one thing too we haven't mentioned yet. They don't quit. Like, you can't count these guys out. Like, I think, 4 games total this season that we were down, 10 points plus or whatever, and we came back and won. Like, this team is I completely agree with you. It's different, but it's a good different. But man, I'll tell you, if this is a preview of years to come, and especially with including the people that are injured right now, Mikey, I can't even talk about Houston. I'm just saying in general, Brown's future looks so bright. I think that's what has us all excited and happy, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'm enjoying this run that Joe Flacco is on. Do I think that Joe Flacco could, like, I've heard people say, move on from Watson and just roll with Flacco. Flacco still, at the end of the day, is a 38-year-old quarterback. He's year to year at this point. I think it's a great story what he's doing now and what he's saying. I would love that, and I'd love it if he would come back next year and be the backup. Because I do think in this league you need to have a true backup quarterback. I mean, some teams have learned. I mean, Cincinnati's didn't know what they had in Browning, but it seems like he's playing pretty solid. You have to have a guy that you can't be afraid to play if your starter goes down. I mean, the way injuries happen, the seasons are longer. This AstroTurf, like these guys are just so big and strong. You got to have a good legitimate backup for sure.
Yeah, I see a comment from D Lit Exchange Jackson. Team is finally seeing stability and good coaching. That's the winning combo. Yeah, I agree, man. It's
Totally agree.
definitely a combo that we've never seen before as fans. We haven't seen in a long time. And like I said, again, combo of whatever that punch Stefanski's serving and this depth that I've been seeing from Barry. And a lot of them are like the 1 year Band-Aids where I'm just like, I talked about it the show, earlier this year, like I never expected, Maurice Hurst to like ball out like that, before he went down. There's a few players that I'm just like, wow, this is really interesting, dude. We're finally getting like, I feel like Barry was kind of tarnished with Joe Woods, where it's like you're actually finally seeing like someone utilize Barry's picks, and his free agent pickups and all that stuff. So I don't know, man. It's a fun time to be a Browns fan. So glad they picked up Flacco. And honestly, Flacco said in this last game, bro, if our defense could just keep us in, he'll take care of the rest. I think that's a good, like, there's really not been a game really since LA Rams game where I was like really starting to doubt the D. And that was just like one, F up game where this kind of, I don't know, they lost composure or whatever, but for the most part, they need to bring that home defense, like on the road, because that home defense is locked down, bro. Because I know we got to win at the Jets. I mean, I don't think Rodgers definitely is not playing now. I think we got to win at the Jets. We need this win. So let's I guess end with this segment, Mikey. Is this a must win for you as a fan, or where you at?
It's not a must win. I would love to win this game. I mean, I think ultimately you need to definitively guarantee yourself a spot. I think 2 wins locks you in 11 wins. You're in 11 wins no matter what. Technically, you could win one more game, and I think 10-7 gets you in with the way some of these teams have to play each other. But you want to control your own destiny. So, I'm hoping that we get a Christmas Eve win, and you put yourself at 10 wins, and then now you got 2 games left. And then maybe some of these other things happen, and all of a sudden you've clinched a spot already. So, I think some things we needed to happen last week happened for us. I think Saturday was good. I mean, Minnesota should have won that game. They choked that game away. We should have Pittsburgh lost, which was good, and then Denver lost to Detroit, so that was good. So going into this week, I mean, who do you want to win between Pittsburgh and Cincinnati? It's weird, right?
I'll be honest with you. I want, obviously both teams to lose. I mean, I really want the Steelers to lose, and I don't care if they do, but I guess standings wise, I would like them to knock down the Bengals a peg, because I don't think the Steelers really win another game from here either way. Like, if they don't beat the Bengals, their season's over. Like, I already feel like their team quit on Tomlin, but we'll sure find out in the Cincinnati game, because that's one of those Steelers fans that I know from my work. Like, he swears like they know how to beat the Bengals. It's like, all right, dude, we'll see, man. I mean, the team they're bringing out there. But for me, dude, is it a must win? Yeah, dude, because I'm one of those fans, don't be shocked. I still want the division, man. I still think it's in our realm. I'm kind of like a think ahead guy. I've seen the Ravens schedule. I still don't believe in them. I don't think that they're this. Even when they make the playoffs and like their home field, like I don't think anything of the Ravens. I don't think Lamar is the guy and can excel in the playoffs. I don't believe they're hype, and I think they lose to Dolphins and Niners both. And then that last game is so weird. It's against the Steelers. I don't know what Steelers game or team is going to show up to that game at that point. Like, is it going to be Rudolph? Is it going to be Kenny Pickett back at it, and they're still trying to have like a victory because they want to end the season with a win. I don't know. So I don't know about that game, but I think it's a must win just because, to me, if you're looking at the division, you have to win out. I mean, you have to win all three. But to me, things will only get easier if you can win this game. Like you just said, you put yourself at 10, you're in the go position. Hopefully you can clinch it that Thursday night, in that short week against the Jets. Hopefully they're just dismembered by then. Like nobody cares. I would hope so. Hopefully they're not playing for much. But what do you think? What are your thoughts?
I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I kind of want I definitely want Pittsburgh to lose this week. Just get rid of Pittsburgh. Just end their season now.
Yeah.
And then from there, so I guess, the games we're going to be interested in this week are going to be Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, our game, the Colts, Falcons. We kind of want the Falcons to beat the Colts. We wouldn't mind the Cowboys beating the Dolphins. Broncos play the Patriots. I don't think they're losing this week. Bills play the Chargers. The Bills are the team that need a lot to happen because they don't have a lot of tiebreakers. So they got to win out their games, but the rest of their schedule is very winnable. So I just think I'm worried about us just control our destiny, win these next 3 games, win 2 out of 3, guarantee yourself a shot at the playoffs. I did something like just based off win percentage, the team with the highest win percentage versus the opponents they're playing the next weeks, that would put us as the 5th seed if that happened. If you just win your home games, if every team just wins their home games, we're no worse than the 6th seed. If you did it by offensive ranking, we're the 6th seed. If you did it by defensive ranking, we're the 5th seed. So I think we're definitely going to get in the playoffs, and I think it's going to take 10-7 at least to lock that up for sure. Yeah,
100%, dude. But I just think, like I said, for me, it's a must win, and I'm going to be disappointed for sure. At least for that half a day, just if we were to lose, just because there's so much on the line. Like I said, I really think we can catch the Ravens, dude, if we just went out. And it's looking at the schedule ahead again. Houston seems to be the only. You just don't know what to expect. You don't know if like their defense is just going to go on a tear and like make Flacco fumble. Like, I don't know. I've seen stuff from the Texans D that scares me before. So it's like, I'm going into the same way I went last game where it's like, I just don't know what to expect, dude. And it's just an uneasy feeling. But like I said, for me, it's a must win just because I want to win all 3, dude. Just, make a name for ourselves, dude. I don't want to have to I need this win just because I don't want to have to look at, the standings and be like, okay, what do we need to have happen next week? And teams like you just said, control your destiny. Like for once in your life, Browns, just give us a nice ending of a season where we don't have to worry about stuff like that. I would prefer, but it is what it is. It's football. Anybody can win at any time, dude. But yeah. I do hope that they can still get a shot at a whack at the division just because Ravens have gotten lucky a couple times, a few times this season, dude. Like they kind of remind me of the Bengals, where the Bengals just kind of kept advancing in the postseason by a field goal or, being at the right place at the right time in that final drive of the game. It just, I don't know. I don't believe they're unstoppable. So like I said, I would still like to catch them, and it's a realistic. At this point of the season, it's a realistic, vision, but I just don't know if it'll come to fruition.
For sure. Well, we got the Barking Browns coming up right up next, so we got to land this plane.
All righty.
Moral of the story tonight is just win, baby. Take care of business. We like to end all of our shows with a 1, 2, 3, go Browns. On a count of 3, 1, 2, 3.
Go Browns.
Go Browns. And a Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, happy holidays. Everyone have a good
Happy holidays.